reintroduction into society. Not that I was ever welcome there anyway.
It's funny because it's true.
Hi everyone, this is ShadowlessEdge, aka Cameron, joined by Neo, Wizard, Master, Matt.
Hi.
And welcome to the Real Gamerscore podcast. This week, we talk about being down with the sickness, putting our specs on in dire times, and how we always called it, we're never wrong, and clearly our gamer Nostradamus. But first, here's the song of the week.
I thought fun was only true in baby games. Meant for sometimes you, but not for me. Oh, the achieves out to get me. That's the way it seems. Discontinued haunting all my dreams. Now it's on my tag, and I'm an achiever. I'm in first place, completing all mine. I'm having fun, ooh, I'm an achiever. I couldn't bean dive if I tried. And if you cannot get it from that, you need to listen to some more goddamn music. My singing lessons are paying off, obviously.
I was going to say that one song that came from that one movie that is now leaving Netflix.
Yes.
Coincidentally, on the same day that you sing it, yeah.
Just happened, yeah. I'm you know, life imitates art, art imitates life. Who knows, you know? Who knows where these things come from?
Exactly. So I have two comments from that. First of all, great singing, well done.
Thank you. Patreons
are really getting their money's worth.
Yeah, I'll say.
Second thing is, are you still the very top of your friends list on TA?
I, as far as I'm aware, yes. Actually, you know what? Let's just double check to make sure in case I forgot to remove someone.
Let's just prove the point that art does imitate life.
Let's have a look. Yeah, so I'm still at the top of my friends as far as I can tell.
You deleted everybody ahead of you still?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I mean, cool. Look, there are only 26 people ahead of me, so it's not a big list to get rid of. But S. Drew can go jump in a ditch.
Jeez.
All right, let's crack into it.
Yep.
It is episode 83. As you've probably heard, I'm on the show. Chin Doctor is away on assignment. That assignment is looking for ladies, I assume.
Yes.
Or guys, you know, let's not judge. Whatever he's looking for, I'm sure he will probably never find it.
He's out there in the hazmat suit, hitting up all the bars.
He told a very interesting story about strippers on Friday. I don't know what was going on.
Do I even want to ask?
No, you do not want to ask, and you definitely do not want to know.
Okay.
So, but if you do want to know something, make sure you join us on the Discord, discord.io/realgamerscore. You can come learn all about these horrible things that we do when we're not recording the podcast, or when we are recording the podcast, depending on what you're interested in. We have channels for all kinds of stuff. We talk about spoiler stuff. There was a Kingdom Hearts channel in there for some reason. I don't know why. I'm probably trying to decipher what's going on with that game. Yeah, okay.
I feel attacked.
I'm not naming any names, but some people got way too into that game.
Okay.
Yeah, but absolutely, come over chat with us. We also will lead this into the next part. We also have a Patreon, which you can I think it's Patreon /RealGamerscore, where if for some reason you want to give us some money so we can keep the lights on, keep the show going, provide prizes for some of our competitions, things like that. Make sure that you make sure you give us some money on that. You know, just saying. You know, I mean, you know, tough times ahead. You know, going to be working from home, coronavirus out there. Got to buy a lot more video games. I mean, what else am I going to do with all my time, right?
I was going to say every dollar counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So make sure you join us on there. We also have a special Discord channel for that, and we also do some outtakes and all of our sort of test shows and other bits and pieces that we pilot that never make it to air because they're always awful ideas. You get to hear those. Right, Chen? You've definitely uploaded that last one that you've been saying you're going to do for the last week, right? Cool.
Last week, last month, last 2 months.
Look, I wasn't going to out him completely and say that he's been talking about it for 6 months, but he has been talking about it for 6 months.
He'll get around to it, 2021.
Yeah, exactly. So we also I should say with the song of the week that you just heard, we do have a competition for that. Make sure you send your answers in of what the song was and who sung it. Not me, I mean the actual singer. To Real Gamerscore on True Achievements or on the Discord, or you know what, just send it to Chin Doctor. He'll sort it all out. And of course, with the Patreon, when you sign up, we do have a giveaway that we do monthly. So if you sign up now, you'll be in the draw for the next one. We can never figure out what month it's actually for, but it's whatever the second week of the next month will be.
Well, it got drawn last week, yeah?
Yes.
If memory serves me right. So, yeah, in about 3 to 4 weeks.
Yep, you might win a prize of your choice.
Yep.
And then, speaking of contests, we also have the random to-do list. So the random to-do list is a list of 25 achievements that's been newly rejigged. Every month we take 25 achievements from your game collection out of TA, put them on a list with a bunch of difficulty ratios on them, and get you to earn them. And once you've earned them, you have to answer a question. Did we come up with a new question for this week?
I don't think so, but...
Chin. All right. So, as you can probably tell, Chin's not here, so a lot of the stuff is usually on him. I'll give him a hard time about it later. But he is editing this, so he might just insert a voice clip in here of telling me what the question is for the week, or the month, rather.
If he listens to us talk.
Yeah, which is highly unlikely, so you'll probably just have to wait till next week.
Yeah.
What else have we got going on? Any other contests? Anything going on? There was something about Freemhole? I don't know.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, we drew the major competition last week for Freem, who was it off the top of my head?
Kingsman, I think.
Kingsman, yeah, that does sound correct. If I am incorrect, I do apologise right now.
That's fine. Chin will just edit over the correct name here.
If he remembers.
Thank you, Chin.
But yeah, as far as I'm aware at this point, those 4 minor prizes are still up for grabs. So off the top of my head, there was the Genres Challenge, there was the A to Z Challenge, there was the Random To-Do List Challenge, and what was the 4th one? Freems Challenge List?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So those are the 4 that I still believe have minor prizes going up. If somebody has already placed entries in, I do apologise, but yeah.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It's a lot to keep up with. But yeah. So, Matt, World's on fire. How about you?
Yeah. Oh, boy. Okay. You're ruining all my great songs. Okay, anyway. Yeah, it's things are going okay, I think. We've had 11 confirmed coronavirus cases to date, which is definitely not the worst. We had a really good stimulus package come out. I mean, this isn't a politics podcast, but New Zealand seems to be doing okay so far. How are you doing over in Australia?
Look, it's pretty much controlling the spread. I don't feel comfortable with the way a lot of things are being managed right now, but I mean, I'm hoping we don't get to a stage with something like Italy.
Yeah, fingers crossed, right?
Yeah. But, I mean, these are unprecedented times. Like, we've never really experienced anything like this before, and obviously it's having a major impact over a major variety of different trade, different ecosystems, yeah. But with that, obviously going forward, as long as it's in the news, it's going to affect a lot of the news stories.
That's our mandatory coronavirus update, because you're right, it is going to be showing up pretty much every week for the next, foreseeable future, unfortunately.
Well, this is the thing, here they're theorizing that it could be at least continuing on for another 6 months.
Yeah, I've seen projections all over the place, but we're definitely seeing it in the games industry. So, what are we seeing so far, Cameron? What's the latest updates?
All right. So, first story I've pulled up here is Microsoft deals per se, dealing with. Let me just bring it up. Got so many news stories up. All right. So, Microsoft stores will be taking new social distancing precautions in response to the virus. Basically, it's the same as a lot of stores are doing. They're just taking extra precautions. They're limiting trading hours. They're shutting down non-essential I guess, events, because whatever can limit this virus from spreading is going to be, is going to help it. So with it, new reduced hours, they'll be creating space for social distancing. Most of the stores will operate between 11 to 6, but these will differ between different locations. Pretty much a lot of these businesses are just going on feedback from their local government or their major governments, and as each day goes on, it's just dealing with it.
The situation changes daily, so
yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate but not unexpected, I would say, at this point.
So yeah, that's pretty much just a quick update for the Microsoft stuff. Rockstar and EA. It's the major thing I've been thinking about this, I guess, is what's going to happen to the world after the virus finishes. Like what our post-virus ecosystem is going to look like. Pretty much around EA and Rockstar, they've just initiated plans for remote working across international offices. I think the only offices where they aren't going to be doing remote working is in China or in Asia.
Yeah.
So with it, they're just going off local, once again, just government guidance, but they believe it's fine over there at the moment. Everything else, they're just taking precautions to have that remote working, still believing to keep everything going, especially like online services. And yeah, just robust systems in place, online games just operating as usual. But a lot of these businesses, it's going to come down to the health and the safety of their employees first, which should be the case of every business.
Absolutely, yeah. Unquestionably.
Yeah. You got any thoughts you want to add to?
I don't know, I mean, our workplace is looking into remote work currently. I'm working every second day from home currently. We're on a sort of rotating roster.
Yeah.
But obviously if things get any worse, things may change. Who knows? I'll be interested to see. I agree with you. I'll be very interested to see what happens to society in general.
There's two main things I draw from this, and this isn't related to any of the news articles, but this is just, I guess, just my thought processes around it. How will supply chains operate? Especially because we live in such a modern world where, you can easily just get anything from overseas. Like Australia, for example, imports so many goods that we no longer make ourselves here because it's just how the current world works. And you're seeing these major shutdowns in terms of flights and that. Like, I believe two of our international flight, I don't know what you want to call them, like agencies or...
Sure.
Yeah. They're slashing prices like up to 90% just because they can't fill flights, which makes sense, but...
Yeah, and like flights being cancelled, and obviously there's going to be disruption. I mean, whether it actually changes anything, I really don't know, because I think it more depends on how long it goes for. If this is going to be a 3-month thing, I think we'll see a bit of a disruption. Game consoles will probably get pushed back to 2021 as has been predicted.
This is the interesting thing about that. I haven't been able to find the article, but I did see one the other day where they believe everything's still going to be like set as planned. Still likely a November date for the Xbox One, Series 1X. But I mean, it just depends on how long this takes.
Yeah, I mean, I know we talked about it when we were hanging out with Brad and talking about what we see the changes happening. I'm with Alex as well. And so I think the prevailing thought originally was that the console will still come out at the same time, but we'll probably have shortages in terms of availability, just because of. And I think that's going to be that we're going to have shortages of things for quite a while, but we'll probably still get things on time for the most part.
Yeah.
Now that, I mean, it really depends on how the next 2 or 3 months go, because now with the virus spreading, even if things get better in China where the consoles are made, if the infrastructure is not there to get them to the countries, or the borders are closed, or there's restrictions on imports or people movement, then it doesn't even matter if the supply chains free up if you can't even get the stuff into the countries.
Well, I know, like, even dealing with one of our suppliers, it was a case of just finding a ship to get freighted from the US to Australia was just crazy. And his the rep's response for it was they've just never seen anything like this.
Yeah, we're in uncharted territory.
Anything else you want to add to the remote working story?
Yeah, I'd be interested to see. Like, I think this will be a good use case for remote work in general, and I'm hoping that, especially in the video game industry, which is such a digitally focused, working in an office cubicle a lot of the time, working on a computer. Like, there's not a lot of reason why you. I mean, outside of camaraderie, and there's some other stuff around working in person, but there's a lot of reasons that a lot of these people should be able to work from home in general, and this might be the push that gets them there.
I think it's good too. The companies that have been able to turn around in such short notice and do put these kind of structures in place to, like, the one of the other major things is people's jobs are going to be affected all across the board.
Potentially, yeah.
And with it, I feel like the companies that are actually, prioritizing their people's safety, as well as still reassuring them, hey, look, if you're a casual, you're still getting paid leave, doing anything to help soften the blow.
Yeah, it's the important thing. I mean, obviously there are economical reasons for that. They obviously want to keep their employees as much as they can. Most people don't like letting people go. And obviously it's good for business to keep your employees healthy so they can keep working. But
Exactly.
it's good for everyone. We'll see how it goes. Especially in the video game sphere. And I'll be interested to see if this has any knock-on effects about video games actually being made and coming out. Because obviously we've seen the issues with potential distribution, but with development we haven't heard much about it. But that's partly because we don't usually hear much about development because it's quite secretive.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from the virus to more news about the virus.
So speaking about when we hear about games getting developed.
What was I going to say? So, what did we call last week?
So I predicted that there was no way in hell that E3 was going to go ahead. I was 100% certain, and there was no doubt in my mind whatsoever. And if you listen back, you can 100% tell that I was not hedging my bets and saying it could go either way. I definitely said that there was no way they were doing E3 this year.
Like, I'm sure they would have tried their best to keep it going. But...
Oh, of course. But to be fair, they cancelled it pretty much as soon as. Before we even put out the show last week. So as soon as we'd recorded, the next day they cancelled. Yeah.
And it's just like, no, we definitely called this. Called this the night before.
We 100% did. But man, was it, that's a rough position for the ESA because they're not in the best position as we talked about last week. They're not in a great position as is. But there are so many... There are so many things being cancelled. I mean, there's a whole website called Is It Cancelled Yet? And it'll give you a list of all the things that have been cancelled with some memes thrown in.
Because weren't you saying last week that gatherings of... Is it 250 in New Zealand?
It was 500. It was... So they announced the other day that it'll be gatherings of over 500, but now it's looking like it'll be gatherings of 250 and up.
Okay.
So for example, our biggest trade show... Field Days, which is a huge event for a lot of people, especially in the business that I'm in, and a lot of New Zealand businesses. It's a huge show that's been postponed, and that being postponed is basically all you need to know if you work in a New Zealand business that goes to these shows, because that's the big dog. And them, they haven't cancelled it thankfully, but they've postponed it, which is unprecedented.
Yeah. With it, we're looking at the same thing in Australia, 500 at the moment. I believe there was talks today to reduce it to 100, which would affect government as well, except for exclusions where it applies to, say, schools.
Schools and universities, same for us. But realistically, I think that's really just a matter of time of them trying to sort out how they're going to keep those things running, because it's not like a business where you could potentially close down. You pretty much have to keep some sort of education form going.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And to the schools that have been able to make their curriculum online straight away, once again, hats off to you.
Yeah,
it's incredible work.
There are definitely some places that are a lot more better prepared than others.
Yeah. So getting on with this, pretty much as I guess no surprise after E3 being cancelled, Microsoft is planning to have a digital Xbox event. Which I reckon, this is probably the best no-brainer going forward for them. Yeah. Just having something like Devolver Digital would be even... look, like Devolver Digital, but not that crazy.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how they do it. Like, are they going to run it like Nintendo's Direct, where it's like essentially just like a guy sitting at a desk, or like, you know, some guy snapped his fingers and showed a trailer, or like, are they going to do like a proper stage show with just no people?
Yeah.
I'd be interested. I'd be really interested in, because obviously they want to make this a big deal. Like, they want to, because this is a launch year for 2 consoles, and there's no E3. I honestly don't know what they're going to do. I'll be curious. I can't wait. I'm super interested to see how they tackle this, because they're gonna have to go big or go home.
Yeah. Like I've even with some of the announcements lately, just like, I find it so funny how some console fanboys are just going, you know, why are they announcing stuff like this? Like, people should be focusing on the virus. They're just being selfish, greedy, and I'm just like,
what are they? As
everybody
opposed
must
to
be
what?
Like, I don't know. I found a few tweets today where it's just like absolute gold mine of, you know, especially around our next story where Xbox Series One X specs have been revealed.
Do you mean the Xbox Series X?
Look, this is a hard name.
Their naming conventions suck, like, a lot.
Yeah.
Like they should, like, people have just taken to calling it the next Xbox.
Yeah, that's
the next box. I mean, I'll play the next box all day. I mean,
I just get tongue-tied. Absolutely tongue-tied with this.
Yeah, I mean, look, they went from they went from Xbox to Xbox 360 because, as they used to joke, when you looked at it, you would turn 360 degrees and walk away. Which, if anyone doesn't understand that joke, try and turn 360 degrees and walk away. And try not to be Michael Jackson. I mean, just in general, but also, like, the joke is a moonwalk. Anyway. So...
Thanks for explaining that.
Yeah, I mean, look...
I'm sure nobody would have got that.
Jokes are always funnier when you explain them. It's just like dissecting a frog. So...
Anyway, moving along.
But yeah, so like, what do they expect Microsoft to do? To just suddenly be like, well, we're just going to close down our entire business and not talk about this thing that we've got, like, not inform both the public and our shareholders what we're doing for this massive change to our plan? I mean,
that's exactly what some fanboys expect, but it's like, I can understand all this trivialness, like, back in the, I guess, good old PS3, Xbox 360 days. Sorry. PS3.
Yep, that was...
Yeah, PS3, yeah. I was just like...
No, you got it.
Total mental blank. Yeah, back in those days, like, I can understand it back then, but now, like, especially having somebody like Phil Spencer on board, where he's so about having, like, that reduced exclusivity, like, having accessibility for all types of gamers.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, he's really leading the industry with it, but...
Oh yeah, he's pushed Microsoft in a really great direction. We don't just say that as people who primarily buy Xbox products, but it does seem to be good for the gamers for the most part.
Just, yeah, for gamers in general, like introducing something like Game Pass, just, yeah, accessibility, all these other things, just great ideas.
Yeah, so like what? Yeah, I will be interested to see what the showcase looks like, but I think I'm wondering how much we hear about the next Xbox and like games coming out for it, and like also like they obviously had they had the physical plans for doing the show of, you know, you do this, it comes out, talks about this, shows this trailer, blah blah. So they have to change that obviously because it's not in person. But then the other piece is like, okay, so what suddenly is, oh, that was slated for end of this year, or launch with the, you know, launch window games that suddenly aren't going to be there. Like, even if the console is ready, maybe they don't launch this year. Maybe they just say, we literally don't have the support from the 5, you know, we, like, the new Forza might get delayed, Halo gets delayed again, like, who knows what happens.
Yeah. Like, if they took a stance and say, look, you know, look, we're caring about the safety of our teams and that we don't expect to launch this product on the original schedule, we've had to delay everything for 6 months. Totally understand. And I will be honestly so frustrated at people that give the whole, but that's not fair because you've minorly inconvenienced my life. But
yeah, and I'm sure the coronavirus will minorly inconvenience a few other people's lives until they get it.
That's exactly.
Yeah. But
yeah, sorry, you finish.
I'll say, yeah, I will be disappointed by the butt hurt, but I will not be surprised.
Talking about butts, thank you for that wonderful segue. How's the Dunny roll situation over there?
So I mean, I've only had to kill 3 people to get a roll of toilet paper. So I mean, that's just a regular Saturday for me, to be honest. I mean, it's like coronavirus what, and then you just get the shanks out.
My parents travelled from originally from where I grew up. It's probably 4 hours away from Melbourne. Yeah.
Yep.
They travelled to Melbourne from the weekend. Visited every store coming back. So a few stores in Melbourne, a few like Woolworths, Safeways, Coles and that in Bendigo and Swan Hill. Yep. Not a single roll. Nowhere.
Oh, I mean, look, they say that people are three hot meals away from, complete anarchy, but apparently they're a 12-pack of toilet paper away from Mad Max.
It's just crazy. I don't understand it. I just don't understand that. Yeah. But saying that, we've had 2 packets of the last fortnight, so we're safe.
Okay, good. Yeah, I've got my secret supply. If you need a secret stash of. Actually, no, I can't say that on air. I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay. Just even Rick from A&E's Porn Stars. Just that viral clip of the guy trying to trade in toilet paper rolls.
Yep.
Just gold.
It's perfect.
But yeah. Anyway, before we get sidetracked.
I'll say speaking of being on a roll.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this rollout of the Series X full specs and controller and all this sort of stuff that Digital Foundry was talking about quite a bit of this, right?
Yeah, Digital Foundry.
So most of the stuff I think was pretty much expected, right?
Yeah, look, I'm not 100% all around the technical stuff. I understand your storage space and your higher specs and memory and all that, but I don't. I'm not super into this stuff. I'll be honest.
Sure. I mean, look, most console gamers don't bother themselves with specs too much outside of these kind of articles, because realistically, if you have a console, you don't really need to worry about what kind of RAM or motherboard or GPU or all kinds of stuff that you need, because the console is the console.
Yeah.
But look, I'm just going through it. I mean, they have a listed here. Its performance target is 4K 60 FPS up to 120 FPS. That's quite a statement.
Impressive.
I'll be very interested to see how they go that, because that'll have to be quite a big jump for the consoles, because that's like 4K 60 is the dream.
I'm just wondering if I can get a spec sheet for the Xbox One X side.
While you're looking that up, though, just looking at the USB 3.2 external edge hard drive support, which is to be expected. However, some of the talk has been around the SSD. So that's going to be a 1 terabyte, which is good, because that's pretty much what was expected. Any lower than that would be pretty hard to do. But what they're going to do is they're going to be selling expandable storage that's proprietary. So essentially very similar to how the hard drives work for the 360 back in the day, where it was you had to buy a Microsoft hard drive for it to work on your 360. You couldn't just chuck any old thing in there. I don't know. I mean, first of all, I'm curious about how much are these going to cost. But apparently, one of the big advantages of SSDs are the load times for video games. They load really, really fast. But obviously, with expandable memory, that kind of causes an issue, because it's like, well, if you don't have a lot of expandable memory that comes in solid state currently at the speeds that these ones are coming at.
Yeah.
Which means that if you have a regular hard drive, what do you do? So apparently you can store stuff on your hard drives, but if you're going to run a game, you have to run it off the internal drive to make sure that it runs at the correct spec.
Which makes sense.
it makes sense. It's an interesting way of getting around it, and then them selling extra storage. I'll be interested to see if they don't sell a 2 terabyte version that has the expansion card built into it or not, or something.
Yeah,
I think maybe that's how they get around the price point problem potentially with Sony.
yeah.
And they say we sell the 1 terabyte for a bit of a loss, but we sell the 2 terabyte at a bit of a
bit of a gain.
Bit of a gain, because most people are going to be, actually, you know what? I'll just go for the slightly more expensive one, double the memory on it.
Yeah.
And because like I can go out and get an external hard drive, but like I can't run my games off of it, so it's almost next to useless anyway.
Yeah. I'm just, in terms of like, how do I put it? The specs in that to me are interesting, but even more interesting is the pretty much the quick resume feature. Like that's the one thing that's got me absolutely sold. I will get this day one if I have the money.
You think? All right.
Yeah, no, I look, for the amount of times that, like, for example, even me and you gaming together, where somebody will come to me and just say, hey, can you quickly help me with this, like, for 5-10 minutes while you're online?
Yeah.
Just having that quick resume feature is going to make such a difference.
Well, I mean, like, and part of that is that SSD, the NVMe SSD, gee, that's a mouthful, those load times. Like, looking at... they were saying State of Decay 2 apparently on the SX runs at, you could get it up and running in 8 seconds, whereas on an Xbox One, on a One X would take 50 seconds from menu to the screen of the game.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
I was gonna say that is phenomenal, because I was gonna say that's somewhere around a minute, but 50 seconds sounds accurate.
Yeah.
And it was, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was up to 3 quick resumes at once, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if they said the exact number. I
think I saw it in a Reddit post today, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, I mean, the article just says multiple games, so I'm wondering if there's definitely limits to it, obviously, but I'm wondering how many there are. Yeah, there's this new memory card thing that was interesting. It's tiny. Just looking at the picture of it, like, apparently it looks like a USB-esque like size. I mean, obviously this is great for an audio podcast. But like, it's the kind of thing that would fit in the palm of your hand quite easily. Like
one of those things that you quite easily lose.
Yeah, exactly. Plug it in and just tape it in there.
Yeah, but I'm just seeing these specs today though, like, really like, made me interested for it. But then it's just at the same time, like, when are we going to see it?
Yeah, that's going to be the question. What else? Yeah, but to be fair, I don't see this. I don't know. I'll be interested. I think I'm most interested in how much the extra memory is going to cost, because I don't want us to go down the PlayStation Vita route again, where you had to buy the Sony memory card to make it worthwhile, and those things were going for like $200.
Yeah. Anyway, less so about the console and more so about the new controllers.
Yeah, that D-pad is awful.
Yeah,
the D-pad's a monstrosity.
It's how do I explain this? On a regular Xbox One controller, it looks ugly. Sure. It honestly looks completely ugly. And to me, this is just a complete aesthetic design thing. But on a Elite Series 2, like, looks amazing. I don't maybe it's just the image they're showing off here that I'm just like, I'm not sold.
Maybe it's just you trying to justify the fact that you spent $280 on a controller.
Yeah. I spent $100. Thank you very much.
Yeah, fair enough. But okay, most people will spend $280 on a goddamn controller. Yeah.
But so Xbox, with the new controller, they're aiming to improve performance. Performance, accessibility, inclusivity, compatibility, damn it, and connectivity with the new controller. The new design of the D-pad apparently incorporates this, but it looks ugly.
I guess it's for ease of use. I'll be like, I mean, you'll get one with your new Xbox, so you get to try it. But I think realistically, I'll probably stick with my Xbox One controllers. That they are compatible with the new console apparently. So there's not really much incentive to change over, which makes sense. I mean, Microsoft's trying to do as much good as they can and incentivize people to move over as easily as possible. You know, with the games being on both consoles probably for the next year or so, the accessories being forwards compatible, all the backwards compatible games.
Which is great.
It's great. Yeah, like that's really the first time that they've really made major leaps into that space, and I think hopefully this is the way things keep going.
How do you feel about the share button?
I think share buttons are awful. I don't want to share anything with anybody.
Yeah.
I
think this is the day and age where we definitely don't want to be sharing things with people.
No, absolutely not. No, social distancing on and offline.
That's exactly it. I'm trying to read if there's been any more improvements. Dynamic latency input.
So yeah, I mean that makes sense. Obviously, they want to try. That is always going to be the issue with a wireless controller, is that you're always going to have a little more latency than with a wired one. The more they can reduce that, the better.
Yeah, I wonder how far a difference do you reckon it is between wired and wireless at this current moment?
At this stage, you probably wouldn't notice unless you're frame reading in something like a fighting game or Sekiro or something like that, where it's very, very important to have that with the reduction in input lag.
Like an esports player where you need that, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that the part of it is that a lot of games are built around the fact that input lag is a reality of using a controller. So they program around it to be more forgiving in the same way that aim assist helps controller games versus keyboard and mouse. So it'll be interesting to see if we actually notice much of a change.
Actually, there's one thing that I just picked up on that I didn't mention before: USB-C.
Yes, which I'm really, really happy about, because my phone runs on that, and that's really should be. I mean, it is the universal standard. So I'm glad.
That's exactly it. Any more thoughts, comments?
I'll be interested to see what the PlayStation specs look like.
Yeah. I mean, now that this is finally released, I wonder how long till we actually hear in regards to it.
Yeah, I mean, they'll want to get in front of Digital Foundry pretty soon, I think.
Yeah. And then hopefully we'll start seeing some price points.
Fingers crossed. I probably won't be able to afford one. And if it's coming out this year, I'm not allowed to buy one. So
yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Oh, handicaps.
Hey, I got to finish some of my games, all right?
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. But like, I don't know, Kirby, if you can, this might be being too much to ask, and I'm probably gonna have a clip just of you swearing at me or something. But like, can you go back to when Matt just said that he was going to just not buy brand new games and nothing about consoles?
Look. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it'll probably come with the game, so I think that counts. But we'll see. I think the price point's going to be the key thing for me. I don't really feel the need to upgrade. If it's as much as I'm a big technophile, like I like my new shiny gadgets. Yeah. I mean, I already have I have an Xbox One S, an Xbox One X, I have a 360 and a Japanese 360 all sitting under my table, and then I have a Nintendo Switch sitting over there, and I've got a computer that I barely use sitting behind it. Like, I don't even know where I would put the damn thing, let alone play it.
I would probably trade in my original... my Elite... Xbox One Elite, which I'm not sure if a lot of you can remember, and maybe the One X towards it.
Yeah, I mean...
Just threw it as the price, but...
Yeah.
See how much I can get it for. Yeah, so that's, I guess, all we've got for news. Mostly just centered around, everybody getting sick, as well as... some new Series X specs.
Which I'm sure we'll be sick of soon.
Moving on.
Normally we would do the G-Test roundup, but as Kirby has said, we just don't care anymore. So we're gonna skip that. I don't know if anyone got eliminated. If they did, that sucks. You should have been better.
But if you're still in, like, good luck. I mean, you must be getting pretty close now.
No, knives are out.
Knives Out? No, that was last year, wasn't it? I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway.
All right, and so now we'll move on to what we've been playing. I'll go first. Let's have a look. What have I got? So, I finally got through the multiplayer for both the Assassin's Creeds. Is done. I'm completely done with the 360 version now, and I'm nearly done with the Xbox One version. I just have to do the Freedom Cry DLC, which I worked a little bit on, but I'm just not feeling it. I might be a little Assassin's Creeded out. which sucks because I have like 5 more of them that I have to finish at some stage. Yeah, don't know when that's going to happen, but you know,
they'll just hit the back burner again. You'll get it sorted in 2025.
Oh man, like I just look at because I finished Origins a while back, and then I just look at Odyssey, and it's just such a massive grind. And not everything I hear about it is that it's a good game,
but it's Greek.
Yeah,
it's Greek mythology. My damn daughter is named after Greek mythology. Come on.
I do like Greek mythology quite a bit. Yeah. So we'll say that maybe that's my quarantine game.
Yeah.
So we'll see. The Assassin's Creed bug seems to be continuing.
Did you get in at least before the story mode XP got cut?
Oh, they cut that still? I haven't started it.
I believe they cut it like 2 weeks after. I think me and Kirby just absolutely grinded it out.
Yeah, okay. Well,
did it in an hour.
Maybe I'll have to go buy the XP doubler or whatever. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. So I'm probably going to once I finish that, I'll probably take a bit of a break from Assassin's Creed and work on some other things. Finally finished up Remnant. Got the last couple of achievements. We smashed out a few of the side quests and a few of the bits and pieces that took a while. I think we did pretty well, actually. You know what? Overall, I think that was actually a pretty damn good game.
I mean, for basically getting asked to come play this with Brad and then just being absolutely ditched. I mean, yeah, it was great that we both finished before him.
Yeah, we both totally rinsed that game. And he was like, "Oh, you're done?" We're like, "Yep." "Where are you, buddy?" Also, yes, I did just see that he finished it this evening. But
he did?
He did. He actually got the last couple of achievements this evening. But cool. let's ignore that and just continue to make fun of him. I'll be interested to see what kind of DLC they do for that, if any. I know
it's a great game.
I think as I've talked about before, mechanically it's a good game. In terms of gunplay, in terms of enemies for the most part, in terms of like cool bosses and abilities you get for the most part are all pretty cool, and how the game is structured. I like the trait system because essentially you don't level up as such, and it always takes the same amount of experience to get a trait point, and you can put it into whatever you like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was really, really good. I'd be interested to see if they do a sequel or more DLC. I mean, they added an extra dungeon, I think, when they added the adventure mode in one of the free updates. So
yeah, they added Letos.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah, so I'd be interested to see if they do anything more or if this is the end of it. I'm not sure how it's sold, to be honest. But I was getting a physical release, so hopefully it was doing relatively well.
I think from memory it was I don't know if it was the 5th best selling or 5th most rated. Game of last year, I want to say.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise hit for sure. I mean, I know a lot of people were talking about it, especially with the Dark Souls comparison.
Yeah.
I also played the Bear With Me DLC, which was that one that Chin and I both got burned on because we were like, oh, hey, the complete collection's on sale, or we could just buy the prequel, and only the prequel has DLC. Whatever, we'll save like the $2 and just buy the prequel. And then they released achievements for the DLC. And then the DLC was like $20. So it finally went on sale a little while ago, I think last week or the week before. So I picked up the DLC and finished it. Really simple. I got like there's a guide on I think there's a guide on the PlayStation Trophies site has a guide for the main game as well as all the DLC. DLC is really quick. I got it done in like 2 hours. Yeah, easy game. Couple of missables. Just keep your eyes open. Follow the guide. You'll be fine. There's one puzzle right at the beginning of the 3rd episode. The guide does not explain it super well. The second to last option on the compass is random each time, so you have to pick a different one until you get it right. It says the guide says pick any. What it means is pick any until you find the right one. Because I got confused with that for ages because it's randomly generated each time.
Oh, jeez.
I also played Steins Gate Zero, which is a visual novel, Xbox One version, digital only, so I had to get a Japanese account for that, so that was a task and a half. I won't go into how all that works, but relatively easy game. Again, the guide is not super clear. There's a couple of bits and pieces in the walkthrough that probably could have been made a bit clearer, especially around the true ending. If you skip the credits during the main end, one of the normal endings, you will not see the proper special ending. So if you've done everything to unlock, like if you're following the guide and you get to the bit where it says, hey, you should unlock the true ending, just wait and watch the credits and you'll get it. Because I ran around in circles trying to figure this out, trying to figure out what I did wrong. Anyway, so a fine enough game. It's all in Japanese. I can't understand any of it. Steins Gate is an interesting anime, but it's got time travel in it, so it's already pretty mind-bendy. And it's also quite heartbreaking. But there's quality, for sure. Also finished up Bad Company 2. We played some of that. We played some Onslaught with Alex and Allison. Although Allison was it was more her account signing in there as a respawn point, like in Halo, rather than her actually playing. But she did her part. We made it through all the maps on easy and then on hardcore. I think we did pretty well, actually.
I mean, I had no intention of starting this game until I got dragged in, but I mean, I'm gonna get it done now.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah,
it was a good session.
I had a really good time playing through that. Actually, it was definitely challenging, and we did bash our heads up against a few of the areas. But once, the last one that we did, we just rolled in there with a tank and got that done in 15 minutes. It was beautiful.
What was our normal time was 14 minutes, I believe?
I think our normal time was 14 minutes, and our actual hardcore time was 12 or 13. We smashed it. So that went really, really well. So I'm finally done with the game. I basically double boxed the rest of it for the Vietnam weapons. Do not do that. Get another person. Do it through, because it's so much faster to do it with 3 people. I just had spare time on my hands, so I did it with 2. You get to get 100 kills with each weapon, but if you have a third person, they can revive the person who died, so they can just keep reviving them over and over and over again, and you get the kills in minutes rather than hours like it took me.
Yeah. I was going to say, look, you got Alison there. Why didn't you just ask her to just keep running up at you?
I mean,
I'm sure she would have loved that.
No, yeah, she was very, very upset that I was taking Mass Effect 3 away from her to play this awful game where I just ran her character in front of me and shot them in the face literally 1,200 times.
I'm sure she would have loved that.
Yeah, she was thrilled.
Look. In your, all you need to say to us, it's better than the ending for Mass Effect 3. That's all she needs to know.
It was definitely better than the end of Mass Effect 3. Yeah, she doesn't agree, apparently.
Alright, we'll edit that out.
She's playing Mass Effect 3 right now, so she seems to be having a good time. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
And then to wrap things up, I've been playing Remothered Tormented Fathers, which is a spooky stealth game. It's a horror game, third person. You sneak around a house with a crazy guy wearing an apron and nothing else, so you see his butt. It's pretty scary. Pretty scary stuff. It's okay. It's obviously the production values are not very high on it. The voice acting's okay. The animations are a bit rough, and the story is weird.
Wait, so you're telling me that all the budget for this didn't go in the animation around the butts?
No, it wasn't around the butt.
Damn.
I mean, I think most of it went into the scary music and the very creepy atmosphere. The game is properly disconcerting. This is a game that Chin Doctor will not play. There is no way in hell Chin Doctor will ever play this game.
So we need to recommend it to this to him before next podcast.
Yeah. I'm probably going to buy him a copy. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
If he doesn't already own it, which he probably does. It's pretty good. I'm up to the last I think I'm at the finale. It's the last 10, 15 minutes of the game. It's definitely challenging, but not super hard. Because there's a house with multiple levels that you have to wander around and pick up it's very Resident Evil in that you pick up an item here, take it to this weird esoteric puzzle over here, do this, do that, do this, do this, and all the time there's a weird creepy guy or a nun. There's a nun in there. It's weird, stalking around trying to kill you.
Yep.
Yeah, there's this weird supernatural stuff going on, but it's not well explained. So I'll be interested to see how it ends. Look, I think they're bringing out a sequel because it's all told through a flashback, but I'm not really sure what the hell's going on. But I'll try and finish it tomorrow. It's fine. The achievements are relatively simple. There's only there's some collectibles to get, and there's one missable. But if there's multiple walkthroughs out there. There isn't one on TA yet, but I think a Neo Seeker has the usual walkthrough. You can just follow that and you'll get everything. Super
Steam
simple.
game that came to consoles later? Or?
Yes, yeah. It was definitely on Steam before that. But
cool.
Easy enough, and the achievements, they're all 100-point achievements. They're nice and high. Ratios pretty low, 1.6 for the whole game. So you breeze through it.
Yep.
But yes, it's been cleanup duty for me. So I'm sitting at 2,480 this week.
Not a bad score for a bit of cleanup.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. What have you been playing?
Alright, so yeah, like Matt said before, finished Remnant. Actually really enjoyed this. Wish we had pretty much kept to our schedule with it, but I mean, somebody had to go ahead and just start doing it in their own time.
Start shooting deer up the butt, apparently.
Yeah, and then I had to catch up, and yeah, it was great. But yeah, now that we're all got it, we can hopefully start. We're going to do Dead Island on Wednesday?
Yeah, maybe we'll do that, actually. Yeah, we need to find a new game, so Dead Island might be the one to go with.
We're not doing Call of the Wild or whatever it's called.
There is no way I'm playing shoot deers in the butt.
Unless, Bill's Guides comes out with a 1 hour completion walkthrough or something for it.
He Sims 4s it, yeah, exactly.
That's exactly it.
Spawn every deer in front of you and you just shoot them in the face.
Yeah. But, I mean, look, if anybody needs any help with Remnant...
ask someone else, we're not doing it.
I was going to say, I'm happy to volunteer 5 minutes of my time, but anymore you'll be charged by the dollar.
Well, that's more than your usual rate.
Yeah, usually it's just help me pop an achievement, but, feeling generous. Yeah, saying that, Battlefield Bad Company 2, I don't know what you've triggered in me. I actually want to go back and play the 360 titles now.
I mean,
because Onslaught was fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun I was not expecting to have with Onslaught. And now I just have to try and convince everyone to help me with Syndicate for the 360 and the Outfit for the 360, Fear 2 for the 360, and Binary Domain for the 360.
Yeah, you're going to hope there.
Yeah, no, that one is almost a write-off at this point.
But yeah, with it, the only thing I'm peeved about with this is I'll get every other achievement in the game, and then I'll just have those 415G achievements for all the... What are they?
The Spec X DLC, where essentially you just have to buy the extra little mini class. Yeah.
Hey, look, we'll get you 15G, but it's going to cost you $2 each.
Well, I mean, you could also buy the pack for $6 and save a whole $2.
Sorry, I mean like $1.50 each.
Yeah, I mean, you might... $1.50 for 15G is not a good conversion. I mean, Rat Alike is usually better deal than that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hopefully these DLCs can come to Game Pass. That'd be great.
just bloody buy them.
No, I'm just... If I buy them, then I don't have the opportunity to complain about them more.
Oh, look,
big problem.
Look, there are plenty of things that I spend money on that I complain about all of the time.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, so yeah, those two. Deadpool. Have you played Deadpool for Xbox One?
Yep, I did the 360 and the Xbox One version.
I remember quite enjoying most of the 360 one. I think I still have to go back and clean up probably 5 or 6 achievements. But wow, did this not port over well?
No, it did not. It is a buggy mess. I mean, to be fair, the original game was not super well. It didn't have high production value and a real sheen to it. But the Xbox One version that gets a very bad port.
It is a very bad port, and the amount of times that I just get a drop in frame rate or something where it's just, most of the time whenever I can, I'll just do the hardest difficulty on my first playthrough if that's what an achievement requires. I can't do this properly, not with these frame rates. I'm really regretting popping it, and I'm kind of a little bit peeved that my girlfriend just went, it's good. It's just as good as 360. No, it isn't.
I mean, you'll finish it if it is a bit of a pain, but thankfully most of the I think as far as I'm aware, you can go back and play through on hard with all your upgrades and stuff. So yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you can do repeated playthroughs, but it's just it's definitely not as fun as it was originally.
Yeah. After that, just doing a little bit more Sudoku in my free time. Definitely not cheating with it. Definitely doing everything legit. By the way, if you know of a solver that helps with the irregular ones, that would be greatly appreciated.
Asking for a friend.
Asking for Matt.
What?
I mean, you're doing it too, aren't you?
I'm not doing. I ain't committing no Sudoku.
Okay. I don't know what that's done to me either. For some weird reason, I got into a YouTube video of the World Sudoku Championships from last year.
Yeah, no, I don't need to...
Slippery slope. 1 through 9.
That's all you say.
Just, yeah. Past that, Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories. I finished Story's playthrough on Prad mode.
Good job. So, you still have half the game left to go.
Yeah, I'm doing Riku's. I'm level grinding in this isn't fun, but...
No, it is not.
All I'm doing at the moment is... I think it's Mega Blaze is the move. Mushu and 2 fire moves. And everything in Destiny Island just falls to my feet in 5 seconds. It's great.
420.
But it's going to take a few hours of grinding the level 99. But Riku's story is going through pretty quickly, so that's enjoyable. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to go back to 1 or 2 final mix, but hopefully in the near future. Probably going to move back to Battleborn next week and start making progress on that. But Kingdom Hearts is probably going to hit the back burner again.
Yeah, I've been thinking about going back to 3 now that it's on Game Pass to get those last few achievements. Well, that last achievement, and then they have that DLC come out, so...
DLC is still like $45 though, that's the only problem.
Ridiculous.
I mean, fair enough if you're adding like a whole new game, but it is definitely not.
So much of it is just retreads of the whatever. Yeah.
I think it's like 12 bosses or something like that. It's not worth it. And then I played the new Radalaka game, which was Super Destronaut Land Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Which is...
It was
definitely the most hardest Radalaka game I've ever come across. What were they thinking? I mean, it took me well over the 10-minute expected playtime. Very disappointed. Definitely want my refund. No, enjoyed it. I mean, Radalaka, easy points, you know.
Yeah.
Other than that, just... I don't know how to explain this. I just want to say Space Invaders, but I know it's not Space Invaders. I know there's a game comparison closer to it, but...
I haven't seen Super Destronaut. Let me have a look. I'll probably tell you what it is.
It's like Shooter, but Space Invader kind of sprites.
I mean, it could just be Space Invaders. That game does exist. Yeah, it looks like Space Invaders, yeah.
Yeah, alright, cool. But yeah, easy like 1,000 points for that.
Yeah, it's like Space Invaders meets Galaga.
That's it. That was the other game I totally didn't think of because I'm only somewhat in 20s.
Yep, it's Super Destronaut Land Wars. It's up to you to shoot down the enemies and collect points to move to the next level.
Yeah.
It says inspired by arcade games, but really it just ripped them off.
Yeah. But yeah, those were my main ones for the week, and that left me at 1,790.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, obviously, 1,000 of that is some baby games, but hey, it's the
I mean,
counts.
The rest of it was mostly, I think most of the week, just doing Remnant, finishing off.
I had a good time with that, but I'm kind of glad we're done too. We can move on to something else for a change, because we have been playing a lot of that game.
Yeah. Good game, but yeah. Sales. Sale.
Alright. Games with Gold has changed over, because it is now the 17th when we record this, at least in New Zealand and Australia.
And if you didn't get your games, well, bad luck.
Yep.
You had a whole 2 weeks.
So now Shantae, the Half Genie Hero, is the Xbox One game with Gold.
Yep.
Apparently quite good, although a little bit challenging.
Good things.
I'm sure the ratio is going to inflate like crazy now.
Yeah.
And also Sonic Generations, which is one of my favorite of the recent Sonic games. Really, really good. Yep. Essentially, it's a look back on the original Sonic, Sonic Colors, Sonic Adventure, and I think Sonic CD, if I remember correctly.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
ish.
It's been a while since I played it, but essentially it has a 2D version. There's like the old school version of a level, and then like a 3D version of the level for like regular Sonic. It's a really, really good game. Not too challenging. The final boss can be a bit of an annoyance, but otherwise, yeah, be easy. You'll get it. But yeah, definitely jump on those. They're both those games are worth playing. In terms of Gamerscore games, we have a lot this week.
Ooh.
So we'll just get straight into it. Black the Fall, 70% off, $4.49. It's a 2D side-scrolling platformer similar to Limbo. Can Androids Pray, Blue, 25% off. No, they can't. $5.24. It is a very, very short visual novel where you have a discussion about God and sentience in your dying breath with another person. It's very weird and interesting. Chromagun, 30% off, $10.49. It is essentially a Portal game, except you change colors of things. So you do a lot of test rooms, that sort of stuff. Clockwork Tales of Glass and Ink, 50% off. It's a Artifex Mundi game. Pretty much what you'd expect. Complete the puzzles, follow a guide, you'd be fine. Day D Through Time, 60% off, $3.99. I added this for Chin. It is essentially a Gnome's Garden clone. It's one of the only ones that I've finished. It still
same
sucks.
dev, isn't it?
Yeah, same dev. It's all the same. Yeah. It's just reskinned. It's boring as hell, but at least it has an easy mode, so you don't have to worry about it. Chin's favorite, Driving Essentials, 25% off, $29.99. This is.
I need to pick this up.
I was gonna say this. It's a 2 to 3 hour completion, and I'm almost like, ooh, that could be a really good 1.4 game. But I'm very far away from 1.4. So
I was gonna say they're driving on the right hand side of the road in that, which is the wrong side of the road.
The incorrect side, yes.
Yeah.
Fair Effect Sedna, 85% off, $2.99. It is a very simple tactics top-down game based on the Fair Effect franchise, quote unquote. The ratio is pretty high on it, but it's actually a very, very easy game. So don't be surprised. Forgotten Anne, 60% off, $7.99. Really good side-scrolling platformer with some puzzle elements and some conversation trees and kind of an interesting plot around lost things becoming sentient in this world. Hookbots, 25% off, $14.99. No idea what that is. Some party game, I think. Lazy Galaxy Rebel Story, 60% off, $3.19. I talked about this last week. It's a very short roguelike 2D shooter. I really don't like it. It's actually pretty bad, but the achievements are pretty easy for the most part, but the last one is a real grind. I mean, I say a real grind, it's like 3 or 4 hours when it should really be like a 2-hour game. Life is Strange, the complete season 1. Life is Strange Before the Storm, complete season. Both of them are 80% off at $3.99 or $3.39. Life is Strange 2, the complete season, 60% off at $15.99, but you might as well play it on Game Pass. Mechanica, 50% off, $2.99. A really hilarious side-scrolling adventure point-and-click. It's the sequel to Agatha Knife, so make sure you play that one first, which is also messed up and hilarious. Mechabolt, 30% off, $3.49. That's a rather like a game, I think. It's a very easy one. Monochrome Order, 30% off, $10.49 is the usual Chemco trash. I'm sure Brad will be buying it. Murdered Soul Suspects, 85% off, $2.99. Memory of Us, 65% off, $8.04. It's a side-scrolling point-and-click-esque puzzler. Oh My God Heads, 80% off. It doesn't have a price for our region at least, but it is a 4-player party game, but you can do most of it by yourself. Pretty simple. Pixel Gladiator, 50% off, $3.49. Planet of the Eyes, 70% off, $2.99, which is a side-scrolling platformer. Quiplash, 60% off. Nice and easy, get it done real quick. Be like me and write 2 different types of jokes and try to decide which part of you is funnier. Race with Ryan, 25% off, $29.99. Way too much.
Ryan's Toys, yeah?
I guess so. I have no idea. I just had some kid in some racing game that's like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
I don't know. River Bond, 35% off, $16.24. Play it on Game Pass. Apparently they had a title update for it or something come out.
I don't know. I know that it's... I believe it's a Play Anywhere title. I've been on PC, but I know it's not too bad.
I know that, there's some extra achievements that have come out for it that I haven't earned, so I don't know what needs to happen there, but I'll have a look at it. Super Tennis Blast, 50% off, $7.49. Tanky Tanks, which I finished the other week, 35% off, $3.89. Really easy for the most part. Tesla vs. Lovecraft, 50% off, $7.49. Slightly longer game. It is a top-down 2D shooter with daily events and upgrades and that sort of stuff. Pretty easy. You have to do 3 playthroughs of it, but essentially it's just the same levels 3 times. Yeah, You're right there, buddy.
Oh my god, I got the corona.
Oh god. And yeah,
Excuse me.
really easy game for the most part. The last playthrough could be a little bit challenging, but eventually you just bash your head up against it to get enough upgrades to just smash through everything. The Adventures of Elena Temple, 40% off, $2.99. Really fun.
Great game.
Laid back 2D platformer. You can earn the cheats
Easy
really
2K.
easily. Yeah, really easy 2K. They basically just almost give it to you, but it's a nice sort of relaxing, short-ish game. The Sims 4, 75% off, $9.99. Normally I wouldn't add this, but Bill's just recently put out his achievement guide, as you mentioned, and you ran through it. How long did it take you?
I believe it might be just slightly over 2 hours because the plan achievement just didn't unlock for me the first time.
But it's basically a 2-hour game now.
Yeah.
So I might look into that, although I'm not allowed to buy it. But maybe
loading screens is the worst thing, and I mean just get EA access.
Yeah, actually,
trial.
That's probably the way to go. Twin Robots Ultimate Edition, 50% off, $3.99. I believe it's another Ratalaika title. Nice easy one. Valley, 80% off, $2.99. It is a first-person platformer. Yeah. Pretty good. It's not... It's obviously an indie dev, and there are some... It's a little bit rougher on the edges, and the platforming is not quite as tight as something like a Mirror's Edge or something along those lines. But it is a really cool game.
Okay.
From an adventure standpoint. And then a Varanye, 60% off, $3.99. The weirdest point-and-click adventure you'll probably ever play.
I don't know. I've played some pretty weird stuff in my time.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright, and host recommendations. I am recommending Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition for 85% off, $4.49. If you do not own this, play it. Get it. Sleeping Dogs is great. One of my favorite open-world... crime-esque games, like GTA. Like I actually like it more than GTA. I think it's a tighter,
definitely.
It's a tighter, better experience with. It's more in line with the Yakuza games in a lot of ways. Actually, I mean, it's a little bit more open and a little bit of more freeform than that. But
it's one of those games that's really deserving of a sequel.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really sad that we won't be getting one, but it is. Yeah, it's one of those games that really needed another one, as DJ Khaled would say. And my other recommendation, because I'm running the show this week, so I don't care, is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order TM.
Good. I'm glad you fixed that.
35% off. So yeah, so the series will be Star Wars Jedi something. 35% off, $38.99. It is still quite expensive, but I would say it was probably my game of the year last year. So I would highly recommend it. It is Uncharted meets Metroid meets Sekiro.
It's getting DLC, isn't it?
They said they're not sure because they confirmed that there's another one in development. So chances are they're probably just going to focus on that to get one of those out rather than do a DLC for this one.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess moving on, my two recommendations are, The Sims 4, 75% off, $9.99. I mean, you probably grew up with like every female in your household around you playing The Sims.
Yep.
I mean, now you can just stick it to them, beat this game in 1-2 hours, and be like, "Hey, well, I did this," and then watch them try and do it legit.
I mean, what I'll do is I'll just put up the guide in front of Alison, and she can just run through it for me.
Alison will probably just do it all legit for you.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, she'd probably enjoy that.
Yeah. And then Adventures of Lana Temple, 40% off for $2.99. Cheap, easy, quick points. One of the only non-Ratalaikas that I've played in recent times where it's pretty easy. I believe Sangrius has a guide out.
Yeah, I think so, but you don't really need one, to be honest.
Don't really need one, but it's just, I don't know. Sometimes it's just nice to have some background volume.
Yep, agreed.
Any potential purchases?
I mean, no. Don't try and trick me. I'm not falling for that one. I'm not buying anything. Saving money.
Look, I've got most of these at the moment, and yeah, I'm probably just gonna save my money unless something. Just driving essentials. I'm like, it's too expensive.
No, it's way too expensive.
But I'm like,
better sale.
I'm like, hopefully this comes down again once in future times.
Fingers crossed.
Be a nice game to do for my 400k.
Well, while we're all locked away at our houses and we forget how to drive, it's probably going to be
exactly
government mandated at some point.
Reintroduction into society. Not that I was ever welcome there anyway.
It's funny because it's true. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Just looking at, we did have a late addition to the Knobs and Discos, though, I believe. You had something there?
Yeah. So, look, I've just seen something, the T8 article, which was pretty much just, so FIFA 19 has one discontinued achievement that will be re-available over this coming weekend. You're looking at March 20th. I don't know what time zone. So, the Weekend League will go live on March 20th, 7 a.m. GMT. You've basically just got to achieve your first qualification for FIFA Ultimate Team Champions Weekend League. After this weekend, it will be discontinued once again, and I believe this is the last chance to get this achievement to get the full completion.
So if you're an idiot and you played FIFA, get on it.
I honestly played a little bit this afternoon after I saw this news. Couldn't unlock anything because of the Xbox Live issues, and then went, well.
Not the worst thing that could happen.
Not the worst thing that could happen, but I could probably see this popping, some achievements popping in a few days, so I might have to do this.
Yeah, fair enough. Just to be safe.
Other than that, look, I don't know because Kirby isn't here. Kirby is our main source for a lot of this information.
Yeah,
Me and Matt just don't cut it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kirby does actually do a couple of things for the show as well as edit it.
Yeah.
Allegedly. All right. Well,
look, he does everything else but edit it.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
That's fair. I mean, I haven't sworn this episode, so he's probably not even going to listen to it.
Yeah, that's exactly
what I should do is tell him that I did swear at certain points, so he does have to listen through to it.
He should be banging his head across counter.
Yeah, speaking of, oh yes, you were saying.
I was going to say, yeah, if you hadn't realised by yet, like the guest that we were introducing last week, obviously was me.
I know. We did actually have some people in mind this week, but obviously with schedules changing and people being very busy and not feeling well and that sort of stuff, that we've obviously had to move things around a bit. But we may have a guest in the future. We shall see. And by the future, I mean any of the next 100 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't plan on being on the next 100 episodes, but
don't worry, you weren't invited.
Oh, okay. Much appreciated.
So, speaking of which, if you want to replace Cameron, you can get in touch with us at hello at realgamerscore.com.
Oh, we were doing so well.
I know, I nearly had it. If you want to talk to Cameron for some reason, you can hit him up on at realgamerscore on Twitter. You can also... yes?
Before you move on from that,
yes.
I just need to double check with Kirby. Have we had the email notifications sent off?
I do not think so, because I still get the occasional notification that Trimmy, being a hella 42069 dude.
I was going to out any of our lovely Patreons here, but... No,
I'm outing him. Trimmy. Mr. Trimmy, mate, we know what you're doing with those hedges, all right? Those aren't hedges. We get it. Like, it's... I mean,
like, just... I'll read you some of his fantastic literature from his messages over the last week. Dude, podcast's gonna be lit. So yeah, just lovely messages like that, just to
So the bar
motivate me.
The bar's pretty low. We'll take some messages. As always, you can ask us questions if you want to. We always do appreciate community questions and some thought stuff, especially when we're, down a member or things are a bit light. We always like having more stuff to talk about, especially when it's about video games. Even if it's just tangentially related, as we usually drift off into. As always, you can join us on Discord, discord.io/realgamerscore. And if you want to support us monetarily, you can support us on patreon.com/realgamerscore, and you'll go into the draw for that competition. You can also write in questions on the show, and we'll endeavour to answer them, as we've said. And if you're interested in being on the show, make sure you contact Professor Pluto or Alex or Chen or me. We'll probably ask you for a sample of your audio to see how you sound, and then we'll probably just let you on the podcast anyway.
Yeah.
You could have screaming in the background. You could have beeping smoke alarms or dishwashers. You could have really bad audio bleed, like clown.
Look, I had kids, like, right literally over the fence, like, probably... I want to say 4 to 5 meters away from me at the start of this, and they just stopped literally 2 minutes before we started recording.
Oh, perfect. God, that was lucky. I would have to done the whole show on my own.
That's exactly it. Hey, look, let's be honest here. You wouldn't mind talking for 2 hours by yourself.
I mean, look, the best thing about talking to myself is that it ensures intelligent conversation.
If that's what dictates intelligent conversation in this day and age, but...
I mean, look. I would still put it out. I don't care. No one listens to this crap anyway. If you want to help out the podcast, you can subscribe to us on iTunes, other podcast platforms, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio. You know all this by now. Leave a review, 5 stars, tell your friends, retweet our tweets or twits. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We put our reviews up there and occasionally the old gaff. Patreon, of course. We've got the Patreon to support us monetarily. We've got our Discord channel where we put the outtakes for this show and any of our sort of pilot episodes of things that we're working on. I believe Chen is working on getting the February outtakes up. We're only halfway through the month, so who knows?
I mean, look, as long as they're uploaded by the 31st, we're safe.
Yeah, true, exactly.
Yeah.
31st of...
I mean, he's still doing a better job than any previous month.
This is true, when he pretended that we haven't had outtakes for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
All right, so individual contacts. Cameron, where can we find you?
All right. Once again, you can contact me on the Twitter. I mean, that's open to everybody, not just Trimmy. I mean, all the other hosts get your lovely messages, so feel free to just send them in. Ask questions, whatever. You can also contact me on the Xbox Achievement Community, run on Facebook. Look, it's for the majority, it's Australians, but, you know, me and Timon are the only admins now, so just send me an invite. I'll add you, whatever. Cool. Otherwise, other than that, you can catch me on ShadowlessEdge on pretty much any other platform except for Mixer, where I believe it is Shadowless_Edge. But I may be wrong. It's been a while.
It's fine. They'll figure it out.
I mean, if you want to find me, you do the research.
Yeah, absolutely. And as always, make sure you get in touch with me. I love talking to people. Or maybe I don't. I keep meaning to write this bit down. I haven't done it yet.
It's the week where you actually like people.
It is the week?
You don't hate them.
Okay, so I hated people last week. Okay, so I do like
cool.
people this week. Okay, I'm actually going to write that down.
Writes down every song that we've performed.
Yeah,
but doesn't write down.
Look, my process. I have a process. Okay, I don't understand the process, but it does exist.
I'm just imagining right behind you right now. You know the chalkboard, Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes, exactly. With the
just
lines
like,
and yeah.
Do I like people? Do I not like people?
Yes, but I do like people this week. So make sure you get in contact. I'm super down to play some video games. Hit me up. I can help people out with Remnant.
He needs more body bags.
I've still got Battlefield 2 Bad Company installed, so I can probably sit there and get shot for a bit. I'm still looking for a new project game to play, but I was serious when I said that I need people to help me out with Syndicate and
Syndicate Assassin's Creed, yeah?
No, Syndicate, like actual Syndicate.
Oh. I was gonna say, yeah. I don't know.
Syndicate, the first-person shooter from Starbreeze.
I can't think of it anyway.
Or the Outfit, or a few other 360 games. I'm on a big cleanup mission. I'm going to hit that 94%. I'm only 330 achievements away from it. So,
do you know how many 360 games you haven't completed?
I've started pretty much every single one of them, so they'll all be in my collection for the most part. There's probably a couple in there extra. But in terms of 360 games, I need to finish 168 of them.
Okay.
So it's probably closer to 175 at this point, because there's a couple in there that I have sitting there that I haven't started. But yeah, there's a lot.
That's fair enough.
All right, but I think with the end of that, we will wrap up the show. Thank you for joining me, Cameron.
Always a pleasure.
Never a chore. Thanks, guys.
Catch you guys. Peace.